nurse manager running more than 20 clinics with about 50 manpower complement that caters to about 300 number of patients per day, difficulties, issues, and conflict arise on a day-to-day basis. What motivates or drives you as an administrator?
Okay, good question. It's my personal philosophy and values that was deeply grounded from like family values and then going back into nursing. And this has allowed me to be as from a first-time nurse moving up the ladder into higher ranks in nursing. So with that grounded background, my philosophy is working towards excellence, and I strive towards that, and I try to facilitate that with people around me as well.
Okay. So can you just elaborate about your personal motivation?
Okay, as already alluded, having a strong philosophy and values, I see myself as being self-motivated. In all my work settings, I did not allow the work environment to influence me in any way or negatively. So being self-motivated is allowed me to work positively and constructively despite the difficulties in the work situations and barriers that persist from time to time.
Okay, so can you cite situations where you capitalize motivation in fulfilling your role in this organization?
Okay, as you already know, being a staff of mine in this department, that I'm now about 10 months in this organization, so I had to work in a very, strategize this very carefully in terms of managing the change and staff getting used to my work style. And having them accepting me first, and then I moved on into getting to know them and they getting to know me. I formed teams, right? Identified team leaders, and the teams were working together with me in decision making and implementing the change. So they were very instrumental in making the necessary change towards improving the outcomes in the outpatient setting.
How about your opinion and leadership styles that you are comfortable with, and why?
Okay, for myself, I see myself practicing in a very situational basis, in that we go back to philosophy and values, is that I believe that it's no one style that fits all situations. So in my values is that I want to inspire people to do what I do, or even do it better than what I do. Very situational, and I use my values to dictate my leadership style. In that, what I can say is I'm very authentic. In that, in what I do, I use that situation to inspire others, whereby they can learn from that situation, right? Inspire them and empower them, and let them participate in whatever needs to be done there at the front level. There are times where I would say it's very democratic, if it involves just the staff per se. For example, if you're looking at the uniforms, recently staff needed to decide on what color to be used as the inner wear. So the approach that I used is that I nominated one team leader, and she consulted with the rest of the staff into the colors, and they decided. So I left that entirely onto the staff decision. But there are times, however, due to the structure and the demands of this organization, is where you have to be autocratic in terms of where something has to be done and submitted right now, and there is simply no time to consult with the staff. So, but largely it's situational. I would describe it as authentic.
Alright. So you are utilizing different kinds of styles depending on the situation. What are the things that you consider as the most important in decision making?
Okay, firstly I would think is you've got to have your facts, your data on hand, and you'll have to start with the process in terms of getting the actual facts, your observations, and doing the research, evidence based on it, and before making a decision. And if you want to make a joint decision and you want to make success in it, then you involve your staff in the decision making, or other role players like the physicians or the patient registration, patient relations.
So it's also like situational if you have to involve the staff and other members of the organization in decision making.
Yes.
How about the conflict management? Is in your position as a nurse manager, do you honestly believe that your staff nurses perceive it as an opportunity for growth and improvement or punitive?
Okay, I think like in any setup, you're not going to get 100% perception of a positive from your staff. I would say largely like in the conflicts that I've dealt with like in the recent 10 months, that from the feedback and responses I get from the staff, they would say, yes ma'am, everything's okay, my department is running well, she's talking to me, or it's okay, you know.
Yeah.
So from that I would say like staff are satisfied in terms of the opportunity that was given to them and empowering them in dealing with the conflict situation. Like for example, if they were like very strong personalities involved in the situation, and then they were given the task to present a lecture on teamwork and team dynamics. And also in addition to that, we formed teams working on the teamwork for for better or more greater success in that area.
So it's more on opportunity for growth and
Yes.
improvement. How about an overview of the budgetary process at your level in terms of supplies, logistics, and manpower review?
Okay, my involvement in it is like very restricted to in terms of what you are asking, in terms of manpower, the logistics, which is like furniture equipment, medical equipment and nursing equipment. It's where it's compiled in terms of the current needs of the services, as well as take into consideration expansions for the next budgetary year. The manpower is planned and submitted to the nursing executive, and then she does a roll up in terms of all the nursing departments, and one budget is submitted to the financial administrators. And the same would work so with the equipment and the medical surgical consumables. So basically the budgetary sort of requirements here, or our involvement in it is restricted to those areas. It's not like, in terms of financial management, you take control of the full finances of your department.
So I'm talking about nursing informatics. What do you think is the most useful or often used tool in your decision making?
Okay, here too, this is a growing organization. We very limited in terms of what is available currently. But however, in terms of the nursing strategic plan for 2013, we have identified that we need to advance in the nursing informatics. In pursuing like recruitment for persons to fulfill such positions, they realize difficulty in terms of obtaining qualified persons. So that area needs to be continued for recruitment for the new.
How far are you involved in policy making in this organization?
Well, it's very limited like right now because it's confined to the nursing quality department, where they do the initial draft as well as the final adoption of the policy. But however, I envisage that in the near future that I review all the policies that have been drafted specifically for the outpatients and make the submissions in terms of the operational requirements and obviously evidence-based.
Okay. So that's all, ma'am. Thank you very much for your time, and I appreciate all the information you shared today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, and I wish you all the best in your career.
Thank you.